Hi, Miss Sullivan here, back with another Sully snack. Today we're going to be making one of my mom's favorite things, which is cinnamon rolls. So to start, you need your packet of yeast and some warm milk. It should be about 110 degrees. Now I have a kitchen thermometer, so I just put it in the microwave and tried to get it to 110, and it took about a minute and 15 seconds, a minute and 10 seconds. So if you just warm up 1 cup of milk for a minute and 10 seconds in the microwave, you should be about there. So we're going to put our warm milk in a bowl, and then put our yeast in there too. And then we're going to let that yeast activate. So again, about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to add 4.5 cups of flour, a 1/2 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 1/3 cup of melted butter. So pour that bad boy in there. Oh, and 2 eggs. This is my melted butter. Egg number 1. Egg number 2. And now I'm just gonna mix it up. And then I'm gonna mix it in the bowl first until it comes together, and then I'm gonna knead it, just like I did with my pretzels. Okay, I stopped kneading it because it wasn't sticking to my hands or the counter anymore, and it's smooth and it's just a little bit sticky still. So I sprayed a bowl just with cooking spray, and I'm gonna put this in the bowl, cover it up, put it in a sunny spot, and let it rise for about an hour. You want it to double in size. So we'll see it in about an hour. Like I said last time, this is the perfect time to clean up. All right, my dough definitely grew. So I'm gonna leave it on the floured counter for about 10 minutes to just rest a little bit more while I prepare my filling. And in the filling, it's gonna be a cup of brown sugar and 2.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, and mix that up together in a bowl. While you're waiting for your dough to rest a little bit more, I'm gonna give you a math problem. So I'm gonna roll it out into a 16 by 21 inch rectangle. So what would the area of my dough be if I rolled it out to a 16 by 21 inch rectangle? Hopefully you got that the area would be 336 inches squared. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna roll it out into a rectangle, and I have a tape measure because I like to be exact, but I'm gonna roll it out into a rectangle that's 16 by 21 inches. Okay, so I have my rectangle. Now I have a 1/3 cup of melted butter, and I'm just gonna paint the butter all over the dough so that gives the cinnamon something to stick to. And again, if you don't have one of these brushes, just use the back of a spoon. Oh, it smells so good. Paint the butter. I personally like recipes where painting butter is one of the steps. So again, this is a 1/3 cup of butter. And then once it's all over the dough, I'm gonna smear on my cinnamon sugar filling, which is, again, a cup of brown sugar and 2.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. All right, that looks pretty good. Buttered my counter a little bit too. That's okay. That's not gonna hurt as long as I clean it up. Okay. So now I want to make sure that this filling gets all over. Nice, even distribution over the 336 inches squared. Then, after we spread our filling and we roll it. We get to do my favorite thing, which is cut them. And I use some dental floss to cut them. So that's always fun. I think you get a clean cut. I saw it on a TV show once. You get a cleaner cut and you don't smush the pretty swirl that you're gonna create when you roll it. Almost there. Gotta have lots of this delicious filling. Okay, so now I'm gonna swirl it or roll it. And I want to make sure the first couple ones are really tight so that it stays together nicely. Oh, it looks so good. Okay. Just gonna start from this end down here. Roll it up. Looks good. Oh. It's a little bit messy, but that's okay. Okay. Whoop, I almost dropped that right off my counter. Now this recipe makes 12 cinnamon rolls. So I want to make sure that when I'm cutting them, I cut them evenly because then they'll bake nice and evenly. And I might chop off the ends of both of them just because they're a lot thinner. So my rectangle wasn't perfect, which is okay. So I might get 11 or I might get 12. I don't know, we'll find out. Okay. Now I've got this big, beautiful roll. So yeah, so I'm gonna just chop off just the ends. So I have, oh, look at that. So I have a pretty even roll all the way around. Now, like I said, I'm gonna use dental floss to cut. So I take a string of it, and if the whole thing needs to be cut into 12, what do you think I should cut it into first? Probably thirds. So let's measure the roll. And mine's about 23 inches. So each third should be what? A little over 7 inches. So that's what I'm gonna measure. Whoops. Now, as I cut these, I'm gonna put them in a greased 13 by 9 tin. So I'm gonna cut them using floss, which I just bring my floss up and then cross it over and pull, and there's a clean cut. So I'm gonna cut all of these and then put them in my 13 by 9, 9 by 13. All right, so a few of them are a little bit small, but that's okay. And so I'm gonna cover these back up and let them rise for another half hour. And while I do that, maybe 15 minutes in, I'm gonna start preheating my oven to 350 degrees. So while you are letting these rise for the next half hour, why don't you do some research on why it's important to let your dough rise, what it does for the dough. Okay, so they rested for 30 minutes and now they're gonna go into a 350 degree oven for 20 minutes or until they're golden brown. So just be sure to watch them. But now we want to make our frosting because we want it to go on right when they come out of the oven. So it's nice and melty and delicious. So you want 4 ounces of cream cheese, which is just half of a block, and you want to make sure that's softened. And then you also want 1/4 of a cup of butter, which is just half of a stick, and that also needs to be softened. So that's gonna go in here with 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and just a pinch of salt. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And then I'm gonna use my electric hand mixer to mix it all up. If you don't have one of those, you can just use a spatula. It's just gonna take a little bit more muscle and elbow grease, but you can get it to the right consistency. I know you can. All right, you can see it's like frosting consistency. So it's not too liquidy, but it's smooth enough that we can spread it over our cinnamon rolls. So they are perfect golden brown. Oh my goodness, they smell so delicious. I'm gonna transfer them to this pan and then frost them because I'm gonna take them to my mom as a surprise. So mine did end up needing about 25 minutes in the oven, but now I'm gonna frost them. And this is not meant to look beautiful, but it is beautiful because it's cream cheese frosting on top of delicious cinnamon rolls. Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait to give these to my mom. She's gonna be so excited. My mom teaches preschool, so she is also a teacher. All right. Oh my goodness. I think I have as much frosting as these can hold. So they're ready to be delivered. Bring these cinnamon rolls to my parents. Hello.
What's up?
I made you some cinnamon rolls.
Oh, my favorite.
They're still, the pan's a little warm, so be careful.
Oh, Dad's gonna love them too.
Yeah.
He just finished the deck.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.